Was I yelling?
No, I'm just trying to hear you better.
Oh, what's going on, guys? Biggs with Custom Offsets. Today we got another episode of Employees First Rides. We got some heaters. I asked one of our employees like 5 minutes ago if he had a first truck, and I'm pretty excited for his first truck. So we're gonna pull a few people in here, and we're gonna get after it. All right, first up we got Corey. Corey, what do you do here?
I'm the content manager.
Content, what does that even mean?
Our ads, sponsored ads, content that's in those, I tell people to make.
So you don't do a whole lot.
No, not a whole lot.
All right, what was your first truck?
A 95, I believe it was a C2500, the two-wheel drive version.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a 2500?
Yeah, had a lift gate on it. Not when I had it, but at one point in its life it did.
All right, what'd you do to it?
A whole lot. I put racing stripes on it first and foremost. Like the day I got my license, went to AutoZone, got 2 black racing stripes, right down the hood, down the back tailgate. They were beautiful. Then, while I was at AutoZone, I didn't pass over the little decal aisle, so I made sure to get the Size Matters little sticker
Oh my God.
on my stock two-wheel drive Chevy 2500. And then, this is probably a couple months later, but I got some off-road lights, also from AutoZone. Drove those right in through the bumper. They were beautiful. I don't think they ever worked, but they looked really cool.
Did you wire them to anything?
I believe so. They
God.
were very dim. I don't know if I did it right. I was 16.
Okay.
And then my favorite modification, listen up here. So this was my dad's truck, technically. It was like a third vehicle that we had, and when I became, of age, I got my license, he was like, you can drive this. And so I was in autos class, and all my friends, all the cool kids were putting exhaust on their vehicles. And
I remember this.
yeah, I was like, Dad, I'm putting an exhaust on the pickup. And he's like, fuck no, you're not. And so my sneaky 16-year-old self was like, or I could, and he could never know. So I went to Home Depot, went to the plumbing aisle, got a T-valve, welded that up into the middle of the exhaust, and then had a T-valve that I would crawl under the truck and open it up every time I left the house, close it back up every time I came near the house. But what I realized is that those T-valves are obviously meant for water, so the inside was all plastic, which, as you can guess, got pretty hot and just melted. So it didn't take too long for my little ruse to get figured out. Oh, it was a great idea for like 2 months.
It lasted 2 months?
Yeah, it lasted a while. Because as long as I kept it open.
And you welded it on?
Well, I didn't, but like the autos teacher did. I have no.
And he was okay with this?
Okay is a stretch. I would not say he was okay with it, but we had like an extracurricular hour once a week after school where like we could just come in and do whatever we wanted to our cars. And
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, if we didn't have like the knowledge to do it, there would be older kids there, the teacher, someone would help us. So I brought it in one of those nights and said, hey guys, I got a project.
And it's happening.
It happened.
Do you wish you still had this truck?
I do. It actually, my dad recently sold it. Like when I got it, it had 70,000 miles on it. It was pristine.
Okay, so if you had the funds and you didn't have just $17 to put your little T-valve on your exhaust, and you could do anything to this truck,
Oh, easy.
what would you do to it?
Long travel suspension. There was this road by my parents' house that like, it was just a straightaway, but in the middle of it, it went over like this little water drainage thing. So me and my buddies would hit it at about 95 miles an hour in my pickup. And my record was about 4 feet in the air, about 40 feet long. And I snapped some of the suspension components when I landed. So if I had to answer that, it would be long travel suspension to continue my shenanigans.
All right, we're gonna pull someone else in here. That was wild. I'm so glad I asked him because about 5 minutes ago I was unsure of the last person I was gonna bring in here, but here we are. And next up we have John. Come on, John, get. Wow. All right, John, what was your first truck?
It was an 84 extended cab, maybe they called it back then. They had the jump seats in the back. Too.
Oh, were they like
84 S10? Yeah.
The flip down.
Yeah. So you had to sit in like this. I mean, you could fit 4 people, but it was like this in the back seat.
All right, what?
It was.
Yeah, I know exactly.
It was minty gold too, like gold. Not like a shiny gold, like a
Oh, I can't.
like a tarnished gold.
Dude, I can't believe we haven't brought these guys in yet, 'cause these are great. We just had Corey on here. Now we have John's minty gold. All right, what did you do anything to this truck?
First mod,
This is already good.
cut the exhaust off, right, at the muffler,
Of course.
and put a cherry bomb on it, dude. I'm old. That was like, cherry bombs were like the thing when I was.
Did it sound good?
No. It was a V6, man. It didn't sound good at all. But when you're a kid and you don't have much money, that's the kind of stuff you do.
Exactly. Is that all you did to it?
I'm sure. I think I put like the K&N Universal like air filter. It was carbureted. Yeah, it was supposed to be fuel injected, but the guy I bought it from put a carb on it for whatever retarded reason. I don't know if we can say retarded.
It'll get.
It'll get bleeped out. Yeah.
But yeah, it was supposed to be fuel injected, but it ended up being carbureted. So yeah, I just put one of the fancy K&N Universal like.
Air filter thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
big round
the
disc
top
ones.
ones?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty dope.
If you could have done anything to it, what would you have done? Or would you just been like, I'll just get a new truck? Or is there any like build plans that you're like, oh, if I had the extra money, I would definitely do this?
I don't think so, because I think at that point, I lived in Montana.
Oh, okay.
So like the hunting and fishing was a pretty big deal. So I just did like the quick mods that
Right.
you do on the first vehicle.
Yeah.
You don't have much money,
Right.
and you barely have enough money to put gas in it.
But gas was cheap back then.
Oh, I put a deck in it.
What'd you do for the money for the truck?
My grandma actually bought it for me. Yeah, I'm the oldest grandchild, so I guess that gives me the luxury of.
Yeah, shout out Granny, because my grandma definitely helped me in my truck venture for my first truck as well.
Yeah, I think it was $1,600 or something.
Not bad.
Yeah, the thing about Montana is all the vehicles are super nice shape too.
Oh
even
yeah,
for
that's
an
true.
older
Yeah,
truck.
yeah. So it wasn't
No
a rust
rust.
bucket.
No, they use sand on the roads out there, not salt.
Do you wish you still had this truck?
No.
Why
No,
not?
I don't know.
Why not?
Because
I mean,
it
John.
was slow. It wasn't great on gas, even though it should have been.
So funny.
It was uncomfortable. It was
That's true.
small,
That's true. You've had a lot of cool cars in your life, I'd say. I mean, you had the Hummer. The Hummer was pretty dope.
Yeah.
You have a pretty dope van now.
Yeah.
So
A
I mean,
Camaro. I mean, I had a Camaro too.
oh, he had a Camaro
Yeah.
too. So you've had a lot of cool cars. So I could see why you don't want this little poopy S10 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's better left in the past.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, that's John's first truck, and I hope we can find some good pictures of this because I want to see this gold paint.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find one online though, because we didn't have cell phone
He's
cameras
kind of
and
old.
stuff
He
like
had a
that.
pager.
I might have had a pager at some point.
All right, we're gonna pull someone else in here. That was John's first truck, and thanks for joining.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
All right, next up we have Josh from Trailbuilt. Come on, Josh, hop in here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Josh from Trailbuilt. Excited to be with you today.
There we go. I love the energy. All right, Josh, what was your first truck?
First pickup truck. Ooh, this is a good one. So my first pickup truck was a 1966 Chevrolet Stepside, two-wheel drive. No, but it had a Chevy 350 in it.
Okay.
Automatic transmission, just a 3-speed, and big old blocky tires on the back with just some regular like truck tires up front. It was.
Oh, so you had like a staggered setup, kind of.
Yeah,
in a
pretty
way.
much. Yeah, it had white Steelies on it. I just remember that. White Steelies on it. It was
Like-
a regular cab step side. It was blue. It was like a flat blue.
Okay.
And I worked an entire summer working for my uncle building houses. And he didn't pay me. He actually was the owner of the truck, but he didn't pay me any cash or anything that whole entire summer.
He just gave you the truck.
Gave me the truck. Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of mentioned, so what all did you do to it yourself? Or did you do anything to it? Or did you buy it the way it sat?
Yeah, I bought it with just like a regular stock 350 in it.
Okay.
So it already had that in it.
Okay.
And what I did is I put an Eldebrock dual plane intake on it, and then I put I think it was a Holley carburetor. No, Eldebrock. It was an Eldebrock carburetor, Eldebrock dual plane intake, and then I put some headers on it, and an electronic distributor on it.
Okay.
And and it scooted pretty good. It was a fun little truck.
So you kind of did a lot to it.
Yeah, more engine stuff than anything.
Did you do any cosmetic stuff to it besides? It came with the tire, the mismatched tires and
Yeah.
the wheels.
Yeah, yep. That it all came with. Wheels and tires were already on it. Cosmetically, I didn't really do a whole lot to it myself.
enough.
No, just mostly engine stuff and.
He likes to go fast. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, it was a regular cab, step side,
Yeah,
66 Chevy. It was a fun little hot rod, fun little truck. I was 14 going on to 15 when I did all the engine stuff to it. I had my brother-in-law help me out with it. And then by the time I was 16 and actually legal to drive, I had it all ready to go. And
Oh, that's really cool.
16 driving to high school in a 66 Chevy pickup it was pretty sweet until I hit a curb and then destroyed the frame, but that was a rip.
Okay. No, that took a turn for the worst. All right. So if you could have done
It's a sad ending.
anything else to it, what would you have done anything to it?
Yeah, I think it would have.
Looking back, I guess.
Yeah, if I would have kept it, I would have restored the body.
Okay.
And the body was pretty decent for being a 66 Chevy up here above the snow belt line where, we get rusted vehicles on
Yeah.
anything over 5 years old. But it still it had some dents in it and, did have some Bondo work on it. I remember that. The bed itself had the old wood bed in it. It must have been restored at one time because I remember it was half rotted, but it wasn't horrible.
Okay.
Still held stuff in the back like
Right.
beer cans and whatever else.
Oh,
soda
yeah.
cans, pop cans. What do you
yeah.
guys call it nowadays? Pop, soda?
I'm from Indiana and we call it pop, but I know a lot of people around here call it soda. So it's just
Soda.
kind of whatever
Soda.
works. So,
Yeah.
do you wish you still had this truck?
In a way, yeah. I mean, I don't really have a lot of sentimental value
Okay.
in most vehicles. Do I wish I would have kept it? Yeah, I mean, it was a cool truck. If I didn't mess up the frame or I don't know, whatever I did to it because I put a new A-arm in it and everything and was backing out of the driveway where I did all the work in it, just literally like almost, it didn't really fall apart. It bent the tie rod again
Oh.
and I don't know, there's something a lot more serious going on. But I think it would have been pretty cool to fix it up, restore it, and not send it to the.
Junkyard.
I don't know. Where did I send it? What did I do? Rawhide maybe? I'm not sure. Can't remember.
All right, that's what we have for you on today's video of Employees First Trucks. If you guys need wheels, tires, suspension, or performance parts, head on over to customoffsets.com or what is it, trailbuiltoffroad.com?
Trailbuilt Off-Road. Yeah, all you off-road guys that
Yeah,
like
head on to their
having
website
fun in
too.
the mud and the dirt and
I like to do that too. It's just my truck's pretty and I don't really like to get it dirty.
you're pretty.
Thank you. We have a ton of wheel and tire packages in stock and ready to ship to your door in less than like 7 days. So if you guys are looking to buy wheel and tire packages, head on over to Custom Offsets. We got a ton. Check them out. That's all we got. Peace.